How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since we've done anything War Thunder really related, but I'm just proud to announce I'm doing a new short series in War Thunder, or I guess you could call it a series. I'm going to be doing my top 5 favorite tanks on each nation. I'm going to go through in this first video. I'm going to go through and list my top 5 tanks, and then from that point on, I don't know how many times a week I'm uploading this. I haven't figured this out yet. I'm going to go into depth on each tank. I'm going to go through show armor, what I think, or kind of do a brief overview of armor, and then go over the reason why I think it's on the list it is, and then do a gameplay thing of it. I don't know how long those episodes are going to run. They might be long, they might be short. It kind of depends on how good the games are and how bad the games are, because some of the tanks on the list are strictly for looks and not because of performance. So I guess we'll see how well that works out, and this is going to be roughly how well everything works out in the game. So I guess I don't know how to say it. It's the rating on 1 to 5 is actually 1's being best, 5 being worst, and the reason why I'm basing off of is 1, looks, 2, performance, and the performance kind of is varied between what it did in real life and what it does in the game. So without further ado, before I get too far into this, if you like this series, please hit that like button, or if you think you're gonna like the series. If you want to, make sure you don't want to miss a video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification button so you don't miss an episode. I do many other series on here, so in case you're talking in the background, I apologize. I do many other series. I mainly do Let's Plays, and I do some War Thunder every once in a while, and I will be doing new stuff soon. This is one of many new things to come, and so I guess we'll get into it. So the first thing on the list here is American. Americans, I'm going based on here, because American, German, Russian, British. I'm leaving Japanese out because I do not have 5 favorite tanks, and that yet. I don't have enough of them. We'll maybe do that one in the future. But with number 5, being on the American list here, is the T-26E1-1 Super Pershing. So that's number 5. Well, number 4 we're gonna go into here is, if I can find it here. Nope, wrong one. M3 Lee. And the reason, this is, I like this tank. Okay, just enough. I'm just gonna say in this video, a lot of people hate this tank. I like it. So then number 3. Sorry, I'm looking at my list. In that case, if you hear me looking around, I got a list made, so don't forget this, and I'm kind of forgetting it already. Number 3, the M103. Just got this tank. Love it. Number 4, or 2. God, I'm doing this in the wrong order. Number 2, I don't think I have it on a list yet. We'll preview it here. The M4A32 Jumbo 76. Now, this one is partially on the list as high as it is because it just got a battle rating drop. It is a very, very, very good looking tank. I'm not gonna go too far into it, but this is why this is high on the list. And then number 1 is probably most people don't understand, or probably won't get it. The M4A176. Now I'll go into greater depth on why this one is my favorite tank, and in the video dedicated to it. But for now, I'm just gonna say it's because it's old school cool. That's all I'm gonna go for it. All right, so now let's move on to Germany. Now Germany, a lot of people are gonna probably get confused with this list. Number 5, Tiger II Henschel. The reason why it's not higher, because it didn't perform very well in World War II. Had good gun, terrible gears. Number 4 is the, where is it? Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer. Most people don't like this tank. I actually think it performs very well in the game. I also think it's a very cool looking tank. Although the only thing that keeps it down is the fact that it was kind of a crappy tank in real life to operate. Number 3, I keep looking at my list here. Number 3, Stug 3A. Stug 3A, very, very fun one to play. Very odd looking and very, it did do a lot in real life. So that is number 3. Number 2 is the Tiger E, or it's Tiger 1 technically, but I like the Tiger E without all the extra stuff on the back of it. The extra snorkel gear. Tiger 1, you can see why it's good looking. It's a very menacing looking tank. And most people don't understand this, but my favorite, I've said it before, my favorite tank of all time for Germany, and this is actually considered my favorite tank of all time, is the Panther G. And that's not because of War Thunder, it's in real life. If you get rid of these side guard things, these are very good looking tanks. Very, very, very good looking tanks. And the Panther G is especially because that chin mantlet, it just looks, these things are so good looking in real life. That's my favorite tank of Germany and my favorite tank of all time. Moving on to Russia, we have my number 5 is the Su-152. This one would be higher on the list if it was easier to play, but it's kind of a struggle to play, and I'm not a big fan of tank destroyers. So that's why this one places at number 5. And it's a good looking tank. It is a pretty good tank destroyer, and it's just a little hard to play. It takes some getting used to, and that's why that one places at number 5. Number 4 is gonna be it can be the higher up on the list, but the T-54 tank. I like the T-54-51. I think is the best looking one, but all I have is the T-54-47, so this will have to do. I like the T-54s. They're a very effective looking tank, and they do their job very well. They're pretty fun to play. I haven't played mine ever. I played my brother ones a fair amount. He has all of them, and they're pretty fun. So that's why that places at number 4. Number 3 is gonna be what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people hate this tank. I love it because on top of the fact that it's a pain in the ass to deal with and it's really good armor, it is a very, very good looking tank. This thing screams Russian effectiveness and everything. It looks like a super T-34 medium tank basically. It's heavily angled. That one places at number 3. Number 2 is a little bit of, it's old school, man. Old school again. The IS-2 mod 1944. Now this one I'll go into more depth again, the reason why this one's number 2 in my video dedicated specifically to it, but it's because historically it did really well, and it is a very intimidating looking tank, and it's very fun to play. Now number 1, this is probably be a lot of people's number 1, and it's kind of given here. KV-2. Gotta love the KV-2. This thing is just, let's get rid of that gross ass camouflage here. This thing is just fun to play. It's fun to play, it looks good, it was intimidating, and it's just a cool tank. And that is why this one places at number 1 for the Russian. This one is probably number 4 overall in of all tanks ever built for me. It's just rough guesstimate. I haven't looked too far into it. Now we're moving on to the British. Now British tanks, these are a love-hate relationship with a lot of these ones, but number 5 is going to have to be the Churchill Mark 1. Now where is that Churchill Mark 1? Customization. There we go. Now this thing is because it performs like crap, but it did get a battle rating go down a little bit, but it looks very, very good in my opinion. I love the looks of the Churchills. It's a very World War I looking tank, and that's why I think it's places at number 5. It's even on the list. The looks is the only reason why this one's on the list at all. Number 4 is going to be, this one's strictly basically for performance. I love playing this tank. The Comet. I love the A30. Was it A34 Comet? No, it's just Comet. I'm going to say it by that point. The Comet is a very fun tank to play. It doesn't look that bad, but it's the very first British tank that I felt like I had something. They had more than just a crappy gun and very little armor. You still have very little armor, but it's something. Now moving on to number 3 is going to be Centurion Mark 1. The Centurion Mark 1, I love this tank because it is the first of the Centurion line. It is like a first of the main battle tanks. It's a very fun tank to play, which had a leveler, auto leveler, but it does not. It is just, it's an all-around good tank at its battering. Very, very good tank at its battering. Then we go on to number 2, which this one was just barely got edged out for by number 1. Number 1 is just beat this one just by a smidge. The Conqueror Conqueror Mark II is the number 2 tank. This is when I saw this tank added. This is the tank I went after. This is the tank I focused all my time on getting because I love this tank. It is very, very strong looking tank. I love the size of the turret. It is just beastly looking. It's a fun tank to play as well. Now let's move on to number 1. Number 1, I've said this one before. Churchill Mark 7. Churchill Mark 7, if you get rid of the track guards again, is the best looking tank in my opinion for the British own, because the fact that it is very, very strong. It is a very, very, very fun tank to play, and I will cover more of why this one's number 1 in this dedicated video. But it's just good looking in my opinion. I love Churchills. This is my second favorite tank. It goes Panther, Churchill, Sherman, A176, KV-2, and then that's my list for the top 5 tanks of each nation that are my favorite, ranking from 5 being the worst to 1 being the best. Hope you've enjoyed, and we do a little recap here quick. Number 5 for America is Sherman, or the Super Pershing. I mean, sorry, bad words, panicking here a little bit. Number 5 is Super Pershing. Number 4 is M3 Lee. Number 3 is M103. Number 2 is Sherman Jumbo 76. Number 1 is M4 A1 76. Now for Germany, it goes Tiger II Henschel, Hetzer, Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer, Stug 3A, Tiger 1, Panther G. And for Russia, it goes Su-152, T-54, IS-6, IS-2 Mod 1944, KV-2. And for the final for the British, it goes Churchill Mark 1, Comet, Centurion Mark 1, Conqueror Mark 2, and Churchill Mark 7. So if you let me know in the comment section below what your favorite tanks are for each nation, for looks, gameplay, what they did in real life, just anything. Doesn't matter what else. Let me know what you guys think, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and feedback on this series. If you enjoy this series, like I said in the beginning of the video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and click the bell notification button so you don't miss an episode. We'll be starting off with the Americans again and working our way from left to right, and hopefully we'll get through these. After this series is over, I don't have anything else really planned for War Thunder, but hopefully this will go well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next time, or in Let's Play series, or whatever I post next. I will see you there. Bye.